So, looks like just the gimbal popped out of place. Gotta take it apart and see if we can fix it. The whole reason I was flying was to see if the iPhone 6s was going to be good enough to use as a permanent device just for the Mavic Mini. I usually use my iPhone 8, which is my personal phone, and it's what I've used for every flight so far with the Mavic Mini up until this point. But I was looking for a dedicated device just for the Mavic Mini so I didn't have to keep using my phone all the time. And sometimes I want to use my phone for recording audio or as a backup camera, so it's nice to have a separate device just for the drone. I did a short test flight near my house. It went pretty good, but it wasn't a long flight and it was very low altitude, so one fatal mistake I made was not clearing off this old phone before taking it out for any substantial flight, because the cache files could get pretty big and obviously that's going to slow the phone down, which I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened. So I started to fly off just around the shoreline here and just kind of follow this dog in and out of the water, just chasing the stick. I thought that looked pretty cool. That's when I noticed a boat coming from my left off in the distance, and instead of playing it safe, knowing that I hadn't really flown with this device, I decided I wanted to get a nice cinematic shot of the boat exiting the bay. So I started to slow push in as the boat approached, and in my mind at this point I'm heading straight off into the bay, perpendicular to the shoreline, but in reality I'm actually kind of heading a bit west off towards downtown Barrie off in the background there. So, and this is a prime example of why a spotter is so necessary when you're flying, especially when you're trying to get some really nice shots. That was my mistake, definitely. I should have had someone watching the drone in the sky while I was paying attention to the screen. I'm flying in position mode right now, and which is what I usually fly in. I don't really need to use sport mode that often, and I find cinematic mode is just a bit too slow. So, but right here I see the boat is going faster than I thought, so I decided as soon as this turn was over I was going to switch to sport mode and see if I could keep up a little better. So that's what I did, and right after that, that's when I switched into sport mode right there, and I tried to climb a bit. Because I planned on getting a tilt down shot, but right at that moment, the Fly app just stopped working and it just shut down. At this point, I'm trying to reopen the app as fast as I can, and it just shuts down again right when I open it, and it continues to do that several more times until finally the app opens. Now by this point, I should have just pulled out my iPhone 8 because I know that it's never done anything like this before, and I should have just gone with the device that I trusted right then to get my drone back. But instead, I hit the return to home button on the controller, and that's exactly what the Mini is doing right now. It's coming right back to where it took off, exactly what it's supposed to be doing. Now I'm standing right here, but I'm looking off in this direction because I'm under the assumption, wrongfully, that I was closer to the boat than I actually was. And I could see the boat from where I'm standing right now, so that's where I'm looking. And I'm standing with a couple guys that were on the beach. They saw what happened and they're looking for the drone with me, and we all were looking in the same direction, unfortunately. So we didn't see the drone coming pretty much straight in from where we were standing. Now what I should have done was pick a nice open spot to take off. Like this clearing right here would have been perfect. But for some reason, another mistake I made that day was I took off right at the shoreline under some trees. Because even when I use the return to home function, which I do from time to time, I still usually get the drone close and then I take over and land it manually. But so I didn't even see that the drone was descending right behind me. I didn't even know it was there until I heard it cutting some leaves, which is what it's doing right about now. So that was that. Lesson learned. I'm definitely gonna do it differently this time. Hopefully the gimbal gets fixed. Let's find out. That's the two fronts. I recommend not trying this and just sending your drone off to DJI and letting the experts do it. But if you are going to do it, just take your time, go very slow, no rush here. Not trying Okay, so once you get the top off, you can see what happened was on this side, the shock absorber was looped over during the crash. I guess it found its way over there, so all I had to do was pull it over and it was fine. It's all back to normal. So I'll get the top plate back on, turn it back on and test it out, see what happens. Okay, got her all put back together. It's fired up. Does the whole... Looks like the gimbal is good so far. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Pretty stoked. Let's see if we can control the cameras. So I'm pretty happy that worked out, and I was able to fix the gimbal. And if you didn't see, the only thing that happened was the shock pad was looped over the spot where it connects to the actual body. So all I had to do was pop this top plate off and reset the gimbal, put the top plate back on, and it's good to go. Works great. So I hope that was useful. If you find yourself in the same situation, hopefully this video is helpful for you. So hit like if that was helpful. Hit subscribe if you want to see what comes next. And thanks for watching. See you next time. My wife got sprayed by a skunk. Okay, this is already like the worst smell I've ever smelled in my life. So. Smells like onions.